The ferry leaves me at a small pier just before dusk. The water smells old, like rust and salt mixed together. I walk up the narrow road with my bag dragging behind me. The village sits low between concrete hills, half hidden like it wants to be forgotten. The buildings are close together, their paint peeled by years of rain. Red paper offerings are taped beside doors and taped again where the glue has failed. Some lie on the ground, stepped on, soaked dark by humidity. No one speaks to me. A woman burning incense outside her shop lowers her eyes when I pass. An old man pauses mid-step, watching me with a look that is not anger, not fear, but something careful. The air feels thicker than the city. Hot, but still. Even the insects seem quiet. It is ghost month. I know this without anyone saying it. I grew up hearing about it. A month when the dead wander. A month when names are not spoken out loud. A month when doors stay closed. My grandmother's house waits at the far end of the village, pressed against the slope of the hill. It is smaller than I remember. The metal gate is streaked with rust, but the lock still turns. Inside, the yard is neat in a strange way, like someone stopped cleaning only yesterday. The grass is trimmed, the stone path is clear. The house has not been touched, but it has not fallen apart either. I slide the door open. The smell hits first. Dust, old wood, and a faint trace of incense that never fully left. The light inside is dim, even though the sun has not fully set. The windows are shut tight. I remember my grandmother doing that every year at this time. She would close them early, even if it was hot, even if the air stopped moving. I drop my bag and stand still. The house creaks, adjusting to my weight. Somewhere, something ticks. A clock, maybe. I don't remember a clock, but there it is, slow and steady, like a heart. I walk through the rooms, one by one. The table is still set with chipped bowls. The calendar on the wall is turned to the month she died. No one changed it. I touch the edge of the table. A thin layer of dust comes off on my fingers. Beneath it, the wood is smooth. Outside, the village settles into evening. Doors close. Lights turn off one by one. By the time the sun disappears behind the hill, the place feels empty, even though I know people are inside their homes, holding their breath. I step back out to bring in my bag. That's when a voice finally reaches me. "Don't answer," someone says. I turn. The old man from earlier stands a few steps away, pretending to look at the ground. He does not meet my eyes. "Answer what?" I ask. He hesitates, then shakes. His head, after sunset. "Just don't." He walks away before I can ask more. His words stay with me, heavy and unfinished. Night comes fully. The heat stays trapped. I light a small lamp. Its yellow glow barely reaches the corners of the room. Shadows sit thick along the walls. I eat a simple meal from a plastic container, listening to the sounds of the house, the ticking clock, the soft hum of insects outside. Somewhere far off, a bell rings once, then stops. I sit on the floor, back against the wall, and close my eyes. Memories come without warning. My grandmother's hand on my shoulder, her grip firm, sudden, her voice low, sharp, telling me to step away from the door. I remember being confused, angry. I remember the knocking back then too, softer than I expected. almost kind. I open my eyes when I hear it. Knock. It comes from the front door. Not loud, not rushed. 3 slow taps, evenly spaced. Like someone who knows they will be answered. My body freezes before my mind does. My heart starts to beat hard, fast, filling my ears. I count my breaths without meaning to. 1, 2. The knocking comes again. Same rhythm, same patience. I stand. Halfway, then stop. The floor feels cold under my feet. I take 1 step forward, then another. The door is only a few meters away. The lamp flickers behind me. I remember my grandmother's face in the dark. Serious, afraid in a way she never. It was during the day. I remember her saying nothing, only pulling me back, shaking her head once. "Don't," she had whispered. The knocking stops. The silence that follows is worse. It stretches thin and tight, like something pulled too far. I wait for relief, but it doesn't come. Instead, the air feels crowded, as if someone is standing just outside the door, still there, listening. I don't move. I don't speak. Sweat runs down my back. The lamp hums softly. Minutes pass. Maybe longer. I can't tell. When I finally breathe out, the sound feels too loud. I sit back down slowly, keeping my eyes on the door. It does not move. The paper charm taped to it hangs crooked, its red color dull in the lamplight. I sleep little that night. Every sound wakes me. The house seems alert, like an animal that has heard something in the dark. When morning comes, the light feels weak, thin. I open the door and step outside. The village looks the same, but not. More paper offerings have appeared. Fresh incense burns on doorsteps. No one greets me. A woman crosses the street to avoid passing my gate. I look back at the house. For a moment, I feel a strange certainty. Not that something followed me in, but that the house itself has woken up, that it knows I am here, that it remembers something I don't. I close the door gently, careful not to make a sound, and the latch clicks into place like a quiet warning. Night settles into the house like a second skin. The air cools, but the walls seem to warm, holding the day inside them. I lie awake on the thin mattress in my grandmother's room, staring at the ceiling. The fan is off. I don't want the noise. I want to hear the house it breathes, not like a person. Slow, uneven. The floorboards let out small sounds, like tired sighs. Somewhere inside the walls would shifts. The house is old enough to remember things on its own. I sit up when the clock ticks louder than before. Each second lands heavy. I tell myself it's just age, just night, but my chest feels tight, like I'm waiting for something to move. Ghost month has deepened. I can feel it even without the calendar. The village grows quieter each night. Fewer lights, more smoke. The smell of incense hangs everywhere, sweet and thick, mixed with something bitter. I light the lamp and stand. Sleep won't come back. My eyes drift to the door at the end of the hall. I avoided that part of the house yesterday. I don't know why, I just did. Now I walk toward it. The hallway is narrow. My steps sound too loud. The door is sealed with old paper charms, yellowed at the edges. My grandmother's handwriting marks, one of them faded but careful. I peel the paper away slowly. It makes a soft tearing sound that echoes more than it should. The door opens with a long creak. Inside, the air smells trapped. Dust floats in the lamplight. Shelves line the walls, filled with ancestral tablets, names carved into dark wood. Some names are clear, others are worn down, barely readable. A few have been scratched out completely, the wood gouged deep, like someone wanted to erase them by force. I don't touch those. A small table holds stacks of old photographs. I pick one up. My grandmother stands in front of this same house, much younger. Her face is calm, but her eyes look tired. Behind her, other faces appear. Family, neighbors. Some smile, some don't. In a few photos, faces have been marked over with ink, a thick black line where eyes should be. I lower the photo. My hands feel cold. Outside, a sound drifts through the open window. Voices, low and distant. I can't make out words, but I know they're talking about me. I hear my name once, then silence. When I step outside later, no one will admit it. The next day passes slowly. I walk the village paths, keeping my head down. An old woman stops sweeping when she sees me. "You stay inside at night," she says, not unkindly. "I do," I answer. She nods, then leans closer. They knock like people, you know. I wait for more, but she turns away, sweeping again. That night, the house feels tighter. The walls seem closer. I eat little. I keep the lamp on longer than I should. When I finally turn it off, the dark presses in fast. The knock comes before midnight. It's louder than before, firmer, 3 taps. The same rhythm I remember from childhood. My stomach drops. I sit up, heart racing. Then the voice comes. Open the door. It's soft, calm. My grandmother's voice. I close my eyes. For a moment, I almost laugh. It feels impossible. She's been gone for years. I stood at her funeral. I burned incense for her ashes. Open, the voice says again. Gentle, patient. I swing my legs off the bed without thinking. My feet touch the floor. Cold travels up my bones. I take one step, then another. "Ah, Ling," the voice says, using my childhood name. It's cold out here. My breath catches. No one has called me that since I was small. I stop in the hallway, staring at the front door. The lamp flickers on its hook. I remember being sick once, burning with fever. I remember my grandmother sitting beside me, pressing a cool cloth to my head, calling me that name over and over until I slept. "Grandma?" The word slips out before I can stop it. "Yes," the voice answers at once. Tears sting my eyes. My chest aches. I move closer to the door. My hand lifts. My palm hovers inches from the wood. I can almost feel warmth on the other side. The smell reaches me then. Damp earth, wet stone, and beneath it, funeral smoke. My hand trembles. "Open." "The door," the voice says. "You left me alone." The words cut deep. Guilt floods in, sharp and sudden. I think of all the times I didn't visit, all the calls I missed. The city always felt too busy, too far. Something slides down the doorframe. I look down. A red paper charm loosens and falls. It flutters in the air, slow and light before landing. At my feet, it looks fragile now, weak. I hear a soft sound, almost a smile. You remember the drawer, the voice whispers, the one under the altar. My heart stutters. No one knows about that drawer. I found it by accident when I was 10. Inside was a small cloth pouch. Inside that, a ring. Not gold, just plain metal. My grandmother took it from me quickly, her hand shaking. I step back. The house creaks, like it's holding its breath. The walls feel close again. Watching, why won't you open? The voice asks. It sounds wrong now. The warmth is gone. The words feel stretched, like they're being pulled through something narrow. I lower my hand. My fingers feel numb. I'm sorry, I say. My voice barely there. The silence that follows is thick, heavy. Then the knocking comes again. Harder this time. Not polite. Not patient. I back away until my shoulders hit the wall. The lamp swings. Shadows jump. Open, the voice says. Sharper now. You owe me. The knocking stops suddenly. I slide down the wall and sit on the floor. My knees pull into my chest. I don't cry. I just listen. The house slowly exhales. The clock resumes its steady tick. By morning, the charm is still on the floor. I don't pick it up. The house feels different now. Like something has shifted. Like a door inside it has remembered how to open. And I know, deep in my chest, that the past isn't finished knocking. I wake up with my hand reaching forward, fingers closing on empty air. The room is dark. The clock reads 3:17. My breath is shallow, my shirt damp with sweat. I listen, no knocking. Only the slow tick of time and the faint sound of wind pressing. Against the windows, sleep has broken into pieces. Every time I drift off, I see the same thing. A door opening into black space. No floor, no walls. Just darkness waiting on the other side. I sit up and rub my face. The house feels heavier tonight, like it has filled with something unseen. I swing my legs off the bed and stand. The floor is cold. It always is before dawn. I make tea in the kitchen, keeping the light low. The kettle whistles softly. Steam rises and fades. When I lift the cup, my hands shake. At sunrise, I leave the house. The village looks older in daylight. Cracks in the walls show more clearly. Shrines at the crossroads are crowded with offerings. Fruit left to rot. Bowls of rice gone hard and dry. Red paper faded to dull pink. An old man sits outside the temple, carving something from wood. He watches me approach without stopping his work. You didn't sleep, he says. I don't ask how he knows. I sit on the step across from him. My grandmother, I say. She told me never to open the door. Why? His hands slow. He sets the carving down. There was a hungry year, he says. Long time ago. I wait. No rain, he continues. No rice. Children cried at night. People prayed harder than ever. Ancestors, gods, anything that listened. He looks at the temple door. Some families followed the rules, some didn't. What rules? I ask. He meets my eyes now. Don't. Ask for more than you can give. The words sit between us. They opened doors, he says. Not just doors of wood. I think of the ledger room. The scratched names. They made offerings, he goes on. Food, blood, promises, what happened. His mouth tightens. Some spirits answered. I thank him and leave. He doesn't. Stop me. Back at the house, I feel watched. Not from outside, from within. The walls seem closer. The air smells faintly sweet, like old incense burned too many times. I go to the sealed room again. The ancestral tablets stand silent. I kneel and bow, like my grandmother taught me. My forehead touches the floor. The wood is cool. When I stand, my eyes fall on the altar. There is a drawer beneath it, small, almost hidden. My breath catches. I kneel again and pull it open. Inside lies a thin ledger wrapped in cloth. The fabric crumbles when I touch it. The book is old. Its pages are brittle, yellowed. The writing is neat at first, careful brushstrokes, dates marked clearly. Then the writing changes. Lines grow uneven. Ink blots smear the page. Words repeat. Not enough, still hungry. I turn pages slowly. Names appear. Offerings listed beside them. Rice, coins, jewelry. Then a name I don't recognize. It is crossed out. The ink dug deep, tearing the page. Below it, a single word dot failed. My throat tightens. A. Memory surfaces. A child's laugh in this house. Not mine. A boy, maybe 6 or 7. I see him only in pieces. A shadow running through the yard. Bare feet. Dirt on his knees. I don't remember his face. The house creaks. I hear a sound behind me. Close the door. My grandmother's voice. But wrong. The words come too slow. Each one separate, like they're being chosen from a box. Close the door. I turn. She stands in the hallway, or something that looks like her. The shape is right, but the edges blur. Her mouth moves a second too late. You must close it. Her eyes don't focus. Grandma. I whisper, her head tilts. The motion jerks halfway through, then corrects itself. You must, you must, you must. The phrase loops, breaking apart. A knock sounds, not at the front door. From inside the wall, 3 taps. Right beside me, I stumble back, hitting the table. The ledger falls to the floor. The knocking moves, slides along the wall. Tap, tap, tap dot, then another knock answers it. From the ceiling that my grandmother's mouth opens wider than it should. Don't answer, she says. Then open it. Both at once. I cover my ears. The sounds bleed together. Knocking, whispering, words folding into each other. You left me, the voice says. No, I say aloud. I didn't. The figure steps back. Her shape wavers. Her voice changes pitch. We waited. The knocking grows faster. From the walls, the floor, the door. I grab the ledger and run to my room, slamming the door behind me. The knocking stops. At once, silence crashes down, sharp and sudden. I slide down the door and sit on the floor. My heart feels like it will tear free. The ledger rests on my lap. I open it again, forcing myself to read. The final pages are written in my grandmother's hand. I recognize it now. Tight, controlled, afraid. The door was opened. I closed it. It follows voices. It remembers hunger. It takes what is offered. The last entry is dated, years after the famine. A child was promised. My stomach twists at the bottom of death. The page, a name, crossed out, I don't know how long. I sit there, the house settles, wood popping, pipes clicking. When night comes, I don't turn on the lamp. The knocking returns after midnight. Softer now. Careful, my grandmother's voice comes. Through the wall, broken into pieces. Arling. Don't open. Then lower, sharper. Open. I press my back to the door, holding it shut as if something might push through. I finally understand. She wasn't warning me away from danger outside. She was guarding something trapped inside. This house got something that learned her voice, something that has been waiting for someone else to take her place. The last night of Ghost Month arrives without warning. There is no change in the sky, no sound of bells, only a pressure in the air that makes breathing feel harder. The house knows the date. It tightens around me as dusk falls, wood pulling against. Wood, nails complaining softly. I light every stick of incense my grandmother left behind. They burn fast, too fast. Smoke pools along the ceiling, heavy and low, stinging my eyes. I sit on the floor near the altar, knees drawn up. The ledger open beside me. The knocking starts before the incense burns halfway. Down, not 3 taps this time. It comes in waves from the front door, from the walls, from beneath the floor. Knuckles. Strike wood again and again, out of rhythm, impatient. The house shudders. Dust shakes loose from the beams. Stop, I whisper. Though I don't know who I'm speaking to, the grandmother's voice rises above the noise. No longer calm, no longer careful. Ah, Ling, it calls. It hurts. The name lands like a blow. I press my hands to my ears, but it doesn't help. The sound is inside my head now, sliding through memory. I crawl to the altar and bow, forehead touching the floor. I know, I say. I know now. The knocking grows louder. The ledger lies open to the final pages. I read them again, forcing myself not to look away. A spirit wandered during the famine. No name, no home. It followed hunger. We gave it a voice, my grandmother's. Handwriting tightens toward the bottom of the page. It learned us it would not leave, so we sealed it. I sit back. My hands are steady now. The fear has burned down, leaving something heavier behind. Guilt, the house creaks above me. The knocking shifts, moving toward the center of the floor, beneath the altar. I remember the yard as a child. Stones that always felt uneven. A patch of ground my grandmother never let me dig. I rise and push the altar aside. It scrapes loudly, the sound sharp in the smoke-filled room. Beneath it, a wooden hatch appears, thin lines marking its edges. The knocking stops. Silence presses. In, don't, my grandmother's voice says. Softer now, almost pleading. I place my hand on the hatch. The wood is warm. You stayed, I say quietly. You stayed to hold it. The voice breaks. I was afraid, it says. I know. I answer. I lift the hatch. A narrow staircase descends into darkness. The air that rises smells wrong, sweet and sour at the same time. Rot and incense tangled together. I light the lamp and step down. Each step groans under my weight. The sound echoes, too loud, like the space is bigger than it should be. At the bottom, a small room opens up. Carved into the earth beneath the house, offerings cover the floor. Bowls of rice black with mold. Fruit collapsed into itself. Paper money stuck together with damp, old toys. A cracked bowl I remember from childhood. At the far wall stands a mirror. It is tall, leaning slightly, its surface split by a long crack. My reflection stares back. But something is off. My face lags behind my movement. My eyes blink a moment too late. The knocking resumes. This time, it comes from the mirror. A shape gathers there, pressing outward. The glass ripples like water. A hand forms, pale and thin, fingers too long. Then a face, my grandmother's face, almost a eye sit wrong in the sockets. Her smile stretches too far. Thank you, it says. The voice carries more than one tone. Now, a chorus layered together. You opened it. I shake my head. I opened the wrong door. The thing steps free of the mirror. Its feet touch the ground without sound. The shape flickers, losing and finding eagers, like smoke trying to hold form. I am tired, it says. I learned your names. I learned your love. I held them until they broke. My chest tightens. What do you want? It tilts its head. The movement is almost curious. Release, it says. I have been fed too long. Images flash behind my eyes. The famine, desperate hands, a spirit drawn by need. My family giving it voices, memories, warmth, until it could not leave, until someone had to stay behind and keep the door shut. My grandmother, you used her. I say, the thing's face falters. For a moment, her real expression surfaces, tired. Sad, she gave herself, it says, so others could sleep. Tears blur my vision. And now she is gone, it answers. The door weakens. The house above us groans, long and low. I look around the room. The offerings, the mirror, the crack running through it like a wound. If I let you go, I say, what happens to this place? The thing watches me closely. Its eyes darken. I will take what was promised, it says, and what was never given. My breath catches. A child. The shape flickers. The grandmother's face slips, revealing something older beneath. Hollow, starved, one. It says, silence stretches between us. I think of the crossed-out name in the ledger. The boy I barely remember. The laugh that never grew older. I straighten. No, I say. The thing steps closer. The air grows cold. The lamp flickers. Then you must replace her, it says. Gently the weight of the choice settles on me. Heavy, certain. I close my eyes. My grandmother's real voice rises. Faint but clear, cutting through the layered sound. Enough. The shape shudders. Its form wavers. She guarded, I say. She didn't feed you forever. She held you until the debt could be faced. I step toward the mirror. The knocking turns frantic. The thing reaches for me, fingers brushing my sleeve, cold as wet stone. Stop, it hisses. I lift the ledger and tear the final page free. The paper rips with a dry sound. I name you, I say, my voice shaking but steady, and I end this. I place the page against the cracked mirror. The glass splits further, the crack racing outward. Light spills through, pale and wide, like dawn breaking underground. The thing screams, not in pain, but in release. Its shape pulls apart, unraveling, into sound, into breath, into memory. The grandmother's face is the last to fade. I'm sorry, I whisper. The light flares, then dies. The mirror collapses inward, leaving only dust and silence. The room feels empty now, truly empty. I stand alone beneath the house, incense smoke drifting down through the open hatch above. For the first time since I arrived, the knocking is gone, and in its place is something quieter, an ending. Dawn slips into the house without asking. It arrives as a thin line of grey along the floor, then spreads slowly, touching the walls, the altar, the place where the hatch still stands open. The air feels lighter, not clean, just empty, like a room after someone has moved out. I sit on the floor where I fell asleep. My body aches. My throat feels raw, as if I have been speaking all night. The clock has stopped ticking. I notice that first. The silence that replaces it feels deep but calm. No knocking. I wait for it. I hold my breath, listening for any sound from the walls, the floor, the door. Nothing comes. The house does not answer back. I stand and close the hatch. The wood settles into place without a sound. I push the altar back where it belongs. Everything looks the same as before, but it isn't. The shadows are thinner. The corners do not feel crowded. I wash my face at the sink. The water runs cold. When I look up, my reflection meets me at the same time I move. No delay, no blur. On the table, the ledger lies open, its last pages torn away. I pick it up and carry it to the altar. Beside it, I place fresh incense, taken from a bundle my grandmother kept wrapped in cloth. I light them one by one. The smoke rises straight this time, not heavy, not pressed down. It drifts upward and fades. I kneel, my voice feels small in the quiet room. But I speak anyway. I say my grandmother's name out loud. Slowly, clearly, I thank her for staying, for holding the door when no one else could. My chest tightens, but the pain feels clean now. Honest, I speak the names from the tablets, even the ones worn thin. Even the ones scratched out. I speak the name crossed from the ledger, the child's name. It tastes unfamiliar on my tongue, but it belongs in the air. I'm sorry, I say. You were hungry. You were afraid. The house listens. I bow until my forehead touches the floor. I stay there until my knees ache and my breath evens out. When I stand, I hear a sharp sound behind me. The mirror, a thin crack runs through it now, wider than before. The glass trembles, then breaks inward with a clean ringing sound. Shards fall and scatter across the floor. catching the light. There is no reflection left, only space. I sweep the pieces into a cloth and carry them outside. The morning air is cool. The village stirs around me. Doors creak open. A woman steps out with a broom. A man lifts a metal gate, blinking at the light. No one avoids my eyes. At the crossroads, incense still burns, but the smoke is lighter. Children's voices drift from somewhere uphill, soft, careful, alive. I bury the glass beneath a small tree near the shrine. The earth is damp. It smells rich, full. When I cover the last shard, the ground feels steady under my hands. An old woman watches me from her doorway. It's done, she says. I nod. She bows her head once, then turns back inside. I spend the rest of the morning cleaning the house. I open the windows wide. Air rushes in, carrying dust and heat and the sound of the village waking fully. I wash the bowls, wipe the table, fold the clothes my grandmother left behind. In the afternoon, I pack my bag. Before I leave, I walk through each room one last time. I touch the door frames, the walls, the place beneath the altar. I don't put up new charms. I don't seal anything shut. Instead, I speak quietly. This house remembers, I say. And so do I at the front door. I pause. For the first time since I arrived, my hand rests on the handle without fear. I open it wide. Light fills the hallway. Nothing waits on the other side. The ferry horn sounds from the pier as I walk. Away, the house stands still behind me. It does not feel abandoned. It feels complete. On the ferry, I sit near the railing. The engine hums low. The water breaks against the sides, dark and steady. The village pulls back, shrinking between the hills. I close my eyes. A soft sound reaches me over the wind. Not just one. Gentle, distant. I don't turn around. The sound fades into the water, into the engine, into memory. Ghost month has ended. The doors behind me remain closed. The ones ahead open on their own, slow and quiet, as they should.